This is Showcase, Faculty Exhibition 8 at the Jule Museum. Here's Dawn Michaelson talking about the process behind her work.
Well, it started with someone that I had met who had had a spinal injury and was bound in a wheelchair. And as she was recovering, she still had a job where she enjoyed, dressing up for work and was trying to get back in, recovering for work. And so we had met, and I was interested in helping her out in regards to some additional clothing for work. And this one that you're looking at is actually for a special event because she wanted something that she could go to more of like a work event, that like an after hours, and be able to dress up but transition from work into an evening look. And so the piece is adaptive for someone who is either in hand crutches, like the ones that fit on your hands below your elbow, or is seated in a wheelchair. So it's actually 4 pieces. And so the jacket is 2 pieces. So you'll see the pink tweed wool on one side and then a black wool on the other. And so there's actually 2 pieces. And then it has a pair of pants because it's easier for her to get around in pants and be in a wheelchair for the pants. So the pants were adapted so that she could get in and out of them a little bit easier. And with a lot of people who are seated all day, especially in a wheelchair, the back of the pants needs to be a little bit higher. And so the back of the pants comes up higher than traditional. So that way when you're seated, the back of your waistband is sitting in a normal position on you. And then people who are in wheelchairs a lot can't access normal pockets that are normally right below your waistband at your hips. So they can't do that. So while it does have some traditional pockets in it for when she is in crutches, it also has pockets on the thighs, which makes it easier for her when she's in a wheelchair so that she has pockets that she can put things in and still be able to assess them. Then to make it dressier for things that are going like an evening event, we have an attached skirt. So it has a stretchable zipper, which was something new that I had never seen before. So I was really glad to utilize that. So the zipper does stretch some, and that is hidden in the waistband of the pants. And then I decided to do these wool laser cut flowers that you see on both the jacket and the skirt. And so those are actually laser cut, and there's several pieces. And so they were laser cut and then stiffened with some starch. And then I used Japanese flower making tools to actually form them to become 3-dimensional. And so I handmade all of those and added them to both the jacket and to the skirt. And that kind of gives it a little bit more of a dressy feel for the evening for her. I've always been interested in fashion, even as a child. I made my Barbie's clothes. So fashion's always been something I've been interested in. I went into the industry for a while. But during grad school, I started actually looking at ways that I could use the knowledge from the industry in academia, in research, to help solve problems with clothing. And while most people are like, oh, I don't have any problems with clothing, I say, well, that's great, then I have done my job. But there's still a lot of problems with fashion in general, apparel, and those people with any sort of a disability or a handicap have a lot of problems with apparel. And sometimes people end up with a temporary handicap. So they may have had surgery, have, ripped their shoulder or, had to have a knee surgery. And so even those small setbacks, people find out that they have problems getting in and out of apparel, moving around apparel. It's hard to do it all on themselves. And like everybody, if you have a temporary disability or if your disability is lifelong, you like to have your own independence as much as possible. And so that's what I started to do. I was like, there's ways to solve these things. We just haven't figured them out yet. And we've been finding out that the solutions that we find for people that have handicaps are wonderful solutions that everyday people love. So if you've ever had a pair of pants that zips up along the ankles, that was initially done for people who have a handicap. And yet all of the normal people, like on a day-to-day basis, they love it. They're like, this is great. I can unzip it. I don't have to take off my shoes, and I can zip it back down. So things like that. There's now zippers that have a magnetic bottom. And so when you go to zip it up, it automatically pulls, and it makes it easier for you to zip up the zipper with one hand. And they're now putting that in like ski jackets because, it's harder. You don't have as much dexterity with your hands because of gloves and everything. And so they've come to find that the innovative techniques that we have come up with for people with disabilities that we call adaptive work for mainstream. And so it's been really fun and nice to see innovations that not only can help people that have needs want to be independent, but it helps everybody too. Kind of advances the industry.